Neema mushiki wanjye yari inshuti yanjye yari bucura bwa mama na data.
I miss Neema.
The more I got to know her, the more I realized what a kind, caring, sweet person inside, just a beautiful human being she was.
She meant a lot. She meant everything to me.
ariko ikintu cyo nzi nuko ari umuntu uzi kwihangana bitewe n'akazi ko yari akora ntabwo yajyaga acika intege nanjye nabimwigiyeho.
Neema mushiki wanjye.
iya mbere Mutarama 1997 wari umunsi udasanzwe kuko ari bwo bucura mu muryango wa Ngerero. Neema Jeanine Ngerero yabonye izuba. Abamuzi kuva kera barimo abavandimwe be ndetse n'inshuti bamufiteho urwibutso rudasanzwe.
She left me with unforgettable memory of her death. I don't think I'll ever be able to recover from that. But more importantly is the times we shared as siblings, things we were able to do together, traveling and teasing each other. She was my support. I felt like I could conquer the world just knowing that she had my back no matter what the situation was. She was the quiet one of the family, so a lot of times I would lose my mind because things aren't going exactly how I expected them to go, and I just look at it, I look in her face and I see the calmness of how nothing ever bothered her. She was so concerned, but she was as calm and collective as it can be in any situation. So that gave me hope that whatever I was dealing with, I had somebody that kind of has it under control, and she was like a backbone of the family, man.
She was a best friend. She was a sister. Though we were the same age, but she always acted like she was older than me. She was an example. She was a person that made sure that everybody was good. Family, friends. She made sure that nobody was left out. I'm sorry. Neema taught me a lot. One thing she always talked about was, you gotta love everybody like it's your last day. Forgive a person even if they didn't apologize, so you could just move on. She was a peaceful person. She was a people's person.
Neema yari umuntu usabana hamwe n'abantu bose, muri community utari ufite ikibazo n'undi muntu uwo ari we wese, abato abakuru, igihe umuhamagaraga kuba yakwitaba icyo ari cyo cyose.
She was beautiful. And then secondly, the more I got to know her, the more I realized what a kind, caring, sweet person inside, just a beautiful human being she was.
Agejeje imyaka 15, Neema n'umuryango we bimukiye muri Leta Zunze Ubumwe za Amerika maze batura muri Leta ya Arizona. Aha niho yakomereje amashuri ye yisumbuye, ariho yaje no guhurira n'uwaje kumufasha gukabya inzozi ze mu bijyanye no kumurika imideri cyangwa fashion modeling. Uyu akaba ari umwuga yakoraga kandi awukunda bihebuje.
Hello everyone. My name is Jeanine, and I've known Neema since 2013. I was asked by a good friend of mine if I would want to volunteer and help teach sewing to the girls over at Camelback High School in their fashion merchandising class. And I accepted that, and I went, and so the teacher assigned us to a student to help them sew and help them work with the gowns that were brought in, because we were redoing these gowns to fit the girls. And she gave me Neema. Neema wanted to be a model, and the teacher and the other moms that were also helping, we all said, she's beautiful and we need to help pursue this with her. So we all started together, but I had some connections through Ford Agency, a person who was the main, I guess, owner. But I went to him, I took Neema there, and he thought she was beautiful. He said, she's too young, so just give her more time. So what we did was, we ended up going back to Ford, and Neema tried out. She didn't make it. They told her she needed a phone. Then they told her she needed a car. Then she went back again, and they told her, well, now you need more experience. You need to volunteer for the fashion shows that are local. You need to try to get to audition for the modeling there. So this took several years, and Neema pursued that. So Neema, she started to get involved in the community. She tried out for the local fashion shows, and eventually got one. That really helped. She was noticed. Then she got a second one. Then photographers noticed her and wanted to take pictures of her. There were fashion stylists that wanted to use her for their work. There were hairstylists that wanted to use her for her work. And she was getting recognized. But all along I would say, Neema, we've got to stick with Ford, because there are many modeling agencies that will be just taking your money for lessons, and they're promising you the world, but I knew, that it's very, very small amount of people get to be high-end fashion models. And Ford Agency was the agency to get her to that point. So she kept doing what she needed to do, and she went back. I took her for another audition at Ford, the second one, and again they said she's getting closer, she needs more experience, she needs to be more worldly. She didn't know what that meant, and I tried to explain to her what that meant, to be more worldly. But the more and more she met people in the community, the more confidence she felt. And finally, she was started to post her pictures of what she had done with the photographer and the stylist, and different modeling shoots that she did in the Valley. And one of the gals at Ford was watching her on Instagram, and she finally said to Neema, we want to have a talk. So Neema went in for the talk, and they wanted to hear all about her family. And when they heard about her family life, well, they already knew how sweet she was and how beautiful she was, but when she heard the family life, they were just, it was really something for them to hear it all. And they said, you have such a story, and we want to help you. So they just said, you were ready to do this. So they signed her. Well, within a very little amount of time, there were agencies from Los Angeles and New York City who would come in. They were actually modeling scouts, they called them. And they saw Neema. The LA office wanted her, and then a company in New York called Women's Management wanted her. LA asked first, so Ford sent her to the LA agency. And Ford is the umbrella agency, so all the other agencies work, they're like offshoots of Ford, but Neema is contracted with Ford. So Neema went to LA for a while, and when that contract was over, the New York agency was waiting for the contract to be over because they wanted Neema. Finally, they just said, you know, we're ready, we want Neema. So that's when Neema went to New York. We got her ready. My husband looked at the legal paperwork. He's an attorney, so we wanted to make sure that everything they said was up and up, and we knew it was a very good agency, the Ford agency, but what they wanted to do in New York. And she was ready to go. Also, the agencies were wonderful. The people, the models Neema worked with were wonderful. So in New York, she got such exposure, and she was, the first year there, which was a couple of years ago, she was picked to model for New York Fashion Week with the Coach company. And Coach is a worldwide fashion company, which used to specialize just in purses, but now they also do clothing. So she modeled in the New York Fashion Week for Coach. That was a year ago. Then after that, so many people saw her. She was asked to go to London. She did work there. She went to Italy. I think that she might have also gone to Spain and Brazil. I'm not 100% sure about that. I actually couldn't keep up with her then because she was flying around all over the place, but she was just having the best time. And this year, not too long ago, she did also model for Coach again, and I didn't get a chance to talk to her, but I saw pictures. I believe that she started to do print work for Coach, which means that it could be in magazines. And Women Management is the top modeling agency in the world. That's where Neema was in New York. And Neema was at the point of becoming, just the start of becoming a very top successful model. And I'm so proud of her.
abamuzi neza kandi babanaga nawe mu buzima bwe bwa buri munsi bamuziho kuba yari umwana mwiza, ugwa neza, usabana, ugira umurava kandi wagiraga urukundo haba ku bato, abakuru ndetse na buri wese wahuye nawe muri uru rugendo rw'ubuzima.
She left me with a bigger responsibility than what I already had, which is unfair, Neema. You should be here. We would share responsibility. I take care of my family. You take care of Mom. And then you call me when you need anything. But now, I'm sure if you had a choice in what happened, you would have probably chose the other way. Because I know you wouldn't have elected to hurt anybody. Not the family, not your friends, not the community. You cared about everyone.
Nk'uko ijambo ry'Imana ribivuga neza muri Yobu 14 umurongo wa mbere kugeza ku wa 2, byabaye impamo kuri Neema Jeanine Ngerero ubwo tariki 3 Ukwakira umwaka wa 2022 yasanzwe yasoje urugendo rwe rwo ku isi mu modoka ye mu igaraje ryo mu rugo kwa musaza we.
I'll never forget seeing you folded in our car. It's it's a bad memory that I wish I was able to erase from my memory, but that's also impossible.
Kuri uyu munsi wo kumuherekeza ndetse no kumusezeraho bwa nyuma ku isi, abavandimwe be hamwe n'inshuti hari ubutumwa bafite.
Seeing a lot of support from your friends, clearly wabanye n'abantu benshi kandi beza. I thank you for that. Thank you for having good friends, caring friends. They're here. They're all showing support. They're kutufata mu mugongo, and that shows a lot about you. Ko wabanye nabo, and as a family, we are very grateful. I don't know, it's a saying, tumenyere ngorokera mu mahoro, so I'm just going to head and use that.
Tuzi neza ko vuba cyane tuzamubona. Ibyo ni ibyiringiro dufite bituma tudaheranwa n'agahinda, kandi tukaba tuzi neza ko Yesu yazutse. Uburyo Neema asinziriyemo umwuka warasubiye kuba utanze. Igihe runaka Neema haryamye ubu azazuka, kandi so byatuma uko yari ameze.
You give me one more reason to long for heaven, because if I do know that I'm going to see you, then I will do what it takes to make sure I make it there. I love you, sis.
I'm so proud of her. I love her, and I will just miss her so much. But she will always be with me.
She was a peaceful person. She was a people's person.
Neema tumwifurije iruhuko ridashira.
Imana imwakire mu bayo, imutuza heza kandi imuhe iruhuko ridashira.